America Votes 2016 continues. I'm Ed Berliner. Thanks for joining us, everybody, right here on Newsmax and Newsmax.com. We are continuing to follow what is happening in Michigan right now. 77% of the precincts are reporting at the last count. Bernie Sanders 50.7%, Hillary Clinton 47.4%. Let's go ahead and dig in and where we are and where we have yet to go. First, let's head for Troy, Michigan. That's where Newsmax Chief Washington correspondent John Gizzi is standing by, who is sitting right in the midst of it all. John, let me go ahead and use the old idea here. We got a real barn burner cooking here in Michigan.
We certainly do. And remember something that's not being reported. Flint, which we've heard so much about, Detroit, and Saginaw, all areas that are favorable to Bernie Sanders, or should be, have not yet reported.
Now, if we look at those areas, the general consensus seems to be, John, and I wanted to get your take on this as well. Rick Unger has said it as well. That's Wayne County. That is the Detroit area. That is a predominantly African-American area, and there are people who feel that that will be a monster swing and will put it right back into Hillary Clinton's camp. Do you agree with that thinking?
Yeah, probably when all of Wayne is in, that should do it. But remember one thing. The reason that the punditocracy has really not yet gotten Bernie Sanders is because the burn is felt in areas that people normally assume is Clinton country, and it turns out it isn't. So while on paper, Wayne should deliver the water wonderland of Michigan to Hillary Clinton, it ain't over until it's over.
Is that, John, you used a great word there, and it's one that so many times when I have taught various groups and corporations over the years, I've said it's that horrible word. Our parents tell it about it. You hear about it as a kid, that word assume. And we know exactly what that means without having to say it here on a family show. But have we been at that point for a long time here that people still assume things about Bernie Sanders and how he might be beatable by Hillary Clinton, and that's what's making this so close?
Yes, I think people just have assumed so much. Look, he's a 74-year-old little-known senator and a self-described socialist. Many of us thought that that would rule him out as a serious contender from the start. And yet look where he is tonight, and look why Michigan is turning into a barn burner or a nail biter. Why? Because so many people who are voting are young voters who don't remember the stigma attached to the S word, socialist. They just like the message he speaks about, which is that he's unbought and unbossed, and college tuition will be for free. That resonates. Questions such as who pays for it in the long run have not yet connected with this electorate, and Bernie Sanders is doing well.
So, John, let's go ahead and turn to the right here. I need to get your take on what happened earlier today. Donald Trump taking Michigan, Donald Trump taking Mississippi, and there is still a thinking. It's not over yet. We've still got a couple to go now, and then we're heading towards another big Tuesday next week. Marco Rubio says he's still in it, and he's going to wait until Florida. There's a whole lot going on here, but just your take on Donald Trump. Did he, in your opinion, and what you can see from the numbers, pull out a convincing enough number in both of those states to tell people that he is the guy who's got the hammer, no doubt?
He's the candidate to beat. There's no doubt about it. What really isn't said about Michigan is that Donald Trump received 38% of the vote, roughly, and that's one of his best percentages anywhere, certainly in a large industrial state. He left Cruz and Kasich way in the rear view mirror, Ed. So he is formidable right now, and he is the candidate to beat. As for Marco Rubio, I think he's got to do some serious soul searching, either this week or after Florida. He was the victim of too many raised expectations. He reached too high, and he's falling hard. Witness his fourth place showing in Michigan. I talked to one of his leading supporters, Congressman John Mullinar of Midland. He said the crowds are big, the enthusiasm was out there. It didn't translate into the polls.
By the time we get done, we may be giving Marco Rubio the nickname of the Phoenix for flying just a little too close to the sun and not being exactly ready at that time. John Gizzi in Troy, Michigan. Always a pleasure, my friend. Hang tight. We're going to catch up with you a little bit later on.